Hey, this is Andy McCann with CrossFit Garage coming to you from Woodstock, Georgia, and I have two questions for expert counsels as a rebuttal or just an extra that Jack, you had asked for. Hey, you guys talk to each other about what's going on. What other 2 cents do you have? So this first one's for Joe from Three Peaks Navigation. You had talked about orienting yourself on the map and how to use a compass and how to find yourself in the woods. So 2 things. One, first is a statement, the other is a question. So the first one is we do a lot of orienteer racing and adventure racing, and what I have found to be super helpful, especially in the middle of the woods when you think you're lost, is we use a wrist compass. I don't know if it's the best one. That's going to be my question. But we aim our wrist north, and then we stand north, and then we take the map and we aim it north. That way, when we have a question of where should we go, and I'm looking at a mountaintop, if I literally point my hand to the right, that mountain is to my right. And so we found it a whole lot easier to get through the woods when we first stop and orient ourselves. So my question really for you, though, is we use wrist compass because we don't have to be too accurate usually, and I tend to lose my watch or my compasses. So what would you use in a scenario where you're racing or running through the woods, or it's an adventure out in the woods for like 10 hours? What kind of compass would you use? I know there's maybe a thing as a thumb compass, and maybe there's another compass that would attach to you better or something. So question to you is, what kind of compasses are out there that you can utilize for racing? The other one I've got is for Dr. Bones, and you were talking about HRT for testosterone. I'm curious what your thoughts are on caffeine and testosterone. The reason I'm throwing this out there is I did an experiment where N=1. It was just me doing the experiment, but before the 2-week shutdown, I never drank coffee. I found coffee in those that 1 year that was supposed to be 2 weeks. And before this, my testosterone was always about 450 anytime I went and did blood work. When I went and did my 50-year-old man checkup, the doctor said, hey, look at that, your testosterone is 950. So the only thing I really done different is drink coffee. I do CrossFit, I sleep right, I eat right. I am robotic. So the only thing I changed was caffeine. So I thought, let me do an experiment. So for 30 days this past January, I did not drink any caffeine. Got my blood retested, and it had dropped down to 270. And then for February, I went back on caffeine and got myself retested, and it was all the way back up to 700. So I have a question for you is, what is the role of caffeine? In am I a unique Pegasus unicorn with rainbows coming out of my ass where the caffeine actually does something to me? Now, note that caffeine does not wake me up. I could drink a cup of coffee and go right to sleep. And it does perk me up a bit. Like I feel like I have more energy, but I could go right to sleep. So curious what you guys think on that, and hopefully, Jack, this works for you as a little bit of extra rebuttal or questions for the expert counsel.